Peace and blessings. Welcome back to Court in Session. I'm your host, Justice Hype, where of course you and I could be the judge, jury, plaintiff, or defendant, however you call it, however you see it. And I'm back for the first time in 2024 to discuss these Washington Reds, well, I almost said the last name, Commanders, formerly the Washington Redskins, now the Washington Commanders. However you like it or dislike it, it is what it is. And yes, the new Commander-in-Chief has been installed. The man you see on your screen right now, Dan Quinn, formerly defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, is now officially the head coach of the Washington Commanders. And I've had some time to let this process, let it soak a little bit. I was asked what one word would describe my feelings about this new acquisition, and after thinking about it for a minute, my only word that I could say is uncertain. Uncertain of this move for several reasons. I'm not sure if Dan Quinn was the first candidate, or he was the top choice initially for Josh Peters. I mean, Josh Harris and our new GM, and looking at the last outings from the Dallas Cowboys just brought me back to his tenure as a head coach and his Super Bowl run with the Atlanta Falcons and giving up that 28-3 deficit at halftime. And I don't care if it's Tom Brady. 28-3. I mean, Tom Brady is indeed the greatest of all time, without any question, without any doubt. But giving up 28-3, the thrashing they took in that divisional round against a young Packers team, young quarterback, young receiving core, inept at stopping the run. We just parted ways with a defensive-minded coach, and not that I'm against a defensive-minded coach. I love defense, and I think defense is paramount. It has to be a priority if you want to be a competitive team and you want to play into January and then, of course, February. You have to have defense intact. However, the Dallas Cowboys showed on many occasions that in terms of scheming the pass and shutting down the pass, they could do that. They displayed that, but in the trenches, stopping the run, they were atrocious. In the Green Bay game, just like they had their way between the tackles, outside, whatever they wanted, they had. And part of that, maybe personnel. Yes, Dallas has some personnel issues, but I think also another part of that is coaching. I go back to the Bills game where they got thrashed in Buffalo, and I remember saying to one of my homies who happens to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, like, yo, this team does not look like they are energized, enthused, or locked in to this game. Like, they look like they're just going through the motions, and it is what it is. And that game, that was my assessment at halftime. After they came out of the tunnel, just looking at the body language of the team, and of course their performance throughout the previous two quarters, and that was just my assessment. And they got the breaks beaten off of them in that game quite handily by the Bills, and I might add by every team that had a near competitive roster or better roster than the Dallas Cowboys. And so for me, that is an issue. I get that players like him. I get that he's a defensive mind, and he's obviously a very good defensive coach. But like I said, I do have my questions as far as his inability to stop the run and also be out-coached. So we're going to see what is in store for Dan Quinn, if he's going to bring in Al Harris to help with our defensive backs as well. That could be great for Emmanuel Forbes, our first round pick out of Mississippi State, who didn't really pan out too great. This team has a lot of good opportunities, great opportunities to take advantage of in the draft and in free agency, with almost 80 mil in cap space, which is number one in the league, and it makes me question why other coaches, other candidates, younger candidates, passed up the opportunity to come to Washington. Big question mark there. 8 draft picks thanks to the trade with Chase Young. We have 9 draft picks, of course, the second round pick. And what I would like to see done is this gentleman right here drafted with that second pick. Yes, I've been saying this. I'm not high on Caleb Williams. I know obviously he's a great talent. However, I did see some huge red flags, and one being his performance against teams that had top tier teams, or teams that had equal talent. The Notre Dame game, even Arizona. There's times where he wasn't exceptional, and then of course he played in the Pac-12, which to me doesn't play any defense at all. So I don't think he was tested from a defensive standpoint. I see diva in him. The crying display, the last game of the season, or his last game of the season, was I don't know. It's questionable. Some people talk about the painting of the nails and him being possibly mentally weak. I don't know about that. It does look very suspect, but I don't know. What I do know is number 5 from LSU, Jaden Daniels, showed exceptional toughness, exceptional focus all season, and exceptional ability to just lock in while being beat the F up week after week. This guy just showed straight resilience. He's athletic. He can move. He's got a gun. My one knock on him is he seems frail. But like I said, this dude is tough. I've seen him take big league hits. NFL caliber hits. If anybody knows that FSU game, I think it was Kalen DeLoach, the middle linebacker for the Florida State Seminoles, squared him up in the middle of the field, and I thought he was going to be laid out. And this dude hopped back up, and he was right back in the huddle on the next play. And so he's shown that he can read coverages. Of course, there's going to be, just like Anthony Richardson, I have my questions as far as his ability to acclimate to the pro game, the NFL game. And of course, it will be a challenge for Jaden Daniels. But however, if you go back to my 2023 rookies to watch, I had Anthony Richardson, I believe, number 2 or number 3 on my list out of 5. And I had questions as far as him being able to read coverages and his ability to acclimate to the pro style game. This dude right here, I don't have those same questions. The poise I saw from him throughout the season, the toughness that I saw from him throughout the season, the chemistry I saw, the ability to stand in the pocket, climb the pocket, find the open target, and of course deliver the ball accurately on a consistent basis. These are all skill sets necessary for being a top tier quarterback in the NFL, and I believe this kid has it and displayed one of the most important intangibles in my estimation: mental toughness. As I said, and I can't stress enough how much of a pounding he took in the SEC week after week, and still kept ticking, still kept producing. If you're unaware, maybe some of you don't follow college football, he did win the Heisman Trophy last season. I think he racked up close to 50 touchdowns, both passing and rushing. So he can get it done, whether it be extending the play with his legs, running the ball, standing in the pocket. I won't say he's a polished pocket passer as much as like maybe a Bo Nix or even Drake May, but I think he has all the intangibles, like I said, once again, to get it done with some time, a curve to learn the game and acclimate on a pro level. So hopefully, our commanders will make the right decision in my estimation, in my judgment, and bring in number 5 from LSU, Jaden Daniels. Also, with our free agency, we have 27 free agents upcoming, and I'm only really interested in seeing Cam Curl, our safety, showed a lot of upside. He's only 24 years old, and I think it would be a great piece in Dan Quinn's defense, as well as Brooklyn's own Curtis Samuel. Had a great season. I thought he was underutilized. Has a lot of Debo Samuel in him. I would like to see him on jet sweeps. Maybe those more underneath mesh routes out of the slot, and yeah, he obviously can get it done. If he's utilized and schemed up the right way. And that all goes into who our next OC is going to be and what their overall approach and outlook to our offensive play will be for next season. But yeah, that's about it. For right now, I'm not going to really jump out the window. I'm just going to see what happens. Get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. Peace and blessings.